Coming up on First at 4, could a four-year public university be coming to the mountains? A new resolution could lead to the transformation of Hazard Community and Technical College. And proposed legislation could create more guardians. We'll take a look at how legislators are hoping to increase the number of school resource officers.
Plus, a wintry start to the weekend is on tap. Those details coming up as Mountain News First at 4 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, State Senate President Robert Stiver has filed a joint resolution recently to further study the transformation of an Eastern Kentucky college. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox has more on the
Senate Joint Resolution 132 calls for the Council on Post-Secondary Education to look into expanding programs at the Hazard Community and Technical College. The study would look into HCTC's ability to potentially become a four-year residential university. The college is currently a part of the Kentucky Community and Technical College system. HCTC President Dr. Jennifer Linden says the transformation is something she would support.
HCTC offering our certificates, diplomas, and two-year degrees, we already have over an $80 million annual impact on the counties that we serve. So I can only imagine the greater economic impact that we will have when we are allowed to offer additional degrees.
Linden says the four-year degrees would be more focused on what the needs are in the region. Coming up at 6, we will have a more in-depth look on how Linden thinks the college will make that transformation. And Hazard, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Chandler, thank you. The Council on Post-Secondary Education determined in 2023 that the Kentucky River area would be the best fit for the addition of a four-year institution in the region. A new study outlines guidance to increase diversity at academic health institutions. Researchers highlighted 13 strategies to ensure graduate health programs are inclusive for students and staff. They say it starts with admissions putting more weight on experiences and attributes. The research comes less than 1 year after the Supreme Court ended affirmative action at colleges and universities. Kentucky lawmakers may vote on a bill to help fill the requirement of putting a school resource officer on every campus. Senate Bill 2 would allow more than just uniformed police officers to patrol the schools, and they would be called guardians. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to some school leaders about the proposal.
The School Safety and Resiliency Act that was passed several years ago in the wake of the deadly Marshall County high school shootings required that each school campus have its own designated school resource officer. But some school districts have struggled to meet that requirement, and now there has been a new bill filed, Senate Bill 2, that would basically broaden the qualifications to help school systems meet that requirement.
We do see it as, once again, just another layer that's there to say the Commonwealth of Kentucky is serious about protecting our children across the Commonwealth.
Senate Bill 2 would let school districts hire guardians instead of law enforcement officers. They would include honorably discharged veterans or retired state troopers or federal law enforcement agents. It comes as there are still 600 schools without SROs following the passage of a bill 5 years ago that mandated each campus have its own SRO. But school leaders say there hasn't been enough funding or personnel to fill those positions. Mercer County currently has 2 officers.
Finally had to make the Mercer County Police Department and form our own department, and we were able to fill that with retired police officers.
Unlike traditional law enforcement officers, these guardians would not be able to arrest people, but they would likely work in school districts that already have at least one school resource officer already working. In Mercer County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Phil, thank you. The bill will also require school systems to develop an anonymous reporting method for students and others to report suspicious or troubling activity.
We are watching out for a few spotty rain chances as we close out the work week. Nothing too widespread, but a few showers up on first alert pinpoint Doppler pushing off to the south and east. Zooming into a few light to moderate showers in the Big Sandy Valley and portions of Johnson County, pushing into Martin, also Floyd and Pike counties at this hour. And same story into southern Kentucky. A heavier downpour not too far away from Whitesburg and Letcher County, pushing into Wise County, Virginia. And also some light showers in Knox County, pushing into Bell and Hartland counties at this hour. Those current temperatures once again well above average on this Friday. Most of us topping out in the upper 50s and lower 60s, up to 59 for Jackson, 57 for London, and 61 for Somerset, also in Harlan at this hour. And we stay cool as we go into this evening. Those temperatures, they're back in the middle to lower 40s, watching out for possibly a few more passing showers, but again, nothing too widespread. And the big story as we kick off your weekend, those lows back in the 30s, and we are watching out for some wintry weather to kick off this weekend, all thanks to this cold front close to Chicago, and that wintry action will continue pushing into our direction. No big problems, but still possibly a few snowflakes by tomorrow. Those details coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Cameron, thank you. Senate Bill 10 seems to have stalled in the House. It would move elections for governor to the same year as presidential elections. Its sponsors say it would bring more people to the polls and save on election spending. Its opponents say national politics could overshadow local issues come election season.
In the end, we lose our state autonomy and we get influenced by national politics, and we need to make sure that's not happening in such an important race like a governor's seat.
The Senate passed the bill in January. It's now in the House. If passed there, the amendment would go on the ballot for voters to decide. The Kentucky Cannabis Freedom Coalition and a group of Kentucky colonels rallied in the state capitol today. They want the governor to decriminalize cannabis through an executive order and pardon cannabis convictions. The Cannabis Freedom Coalition says 300,000 Kentuckians have been negatively affected by what they say are outdated laws. Supporters say their ultimate goal is to follow other states in legalizing cannabis.
These are laws that need to be changed today, right? Actually should have been changed yesterday. And after what Ohio has done, we now have 3 states that border us, right, that have legal cannabis.
In January, House Bill 72 was filed to decriminalize personal use and possession of an ounce or less of cannabis, but the bill has stalled. Coming up on First at 4, a journey that rivals that of Homer's protagonist in the Odyssey. How Odysseus is making history on the moon.
Plus, we are tracking a brief battle with winter. Your forecast after this break.